The longest life ever recorded, Jeanne Calment timeline. 122 years, 164 days. Say that number out loud. Let it sit in your mouth for a moment. Because it doesn't sound real. It sounds like something carved into an ancient monument. Not a human lifespan. Not one heartbeat, one breath, one woman. And yet every single day of those 122 years was lived, felt and remembered by one person, Jeanne Calment. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. When she was born, Abraham Lincoln had only been dead for 10 years. When she died, the internet already existed. One life, two completely different worlds. So before you assume you know everything about human potential, about the ceiling of what a body can endure, about how long a single story can last, stay right here. Because what you're about to hear will permanently change how you think about time. Arles, France, January 21st, 1875. A baby girl is born to Nicholas and Marguerite Calment, a prosperous, comfortable family in the south of France. The streets outside are lit by gas lamps. Horse-drawn carriages clatter across cobblestones. The telephone hasn't been invented yet. The Eiffel Tower hasn't been built. And this tiny girl, wrapped in cloth in a warm French home, has absolutely no idea that she is about to become the most scientifically significant human being in the history of recorded life. Her childhood was stable, warm, and unremarkable in the best possible way. She loved the outdoors. She played tennis. She cycled through the streets of Arles with the kind of casual ease that would later become almost legendary. But here's your first cliffhanger, and because something happened when Jeanne was just 13 years old, something that centuries later, people would still talk about with complete disbelief. A man walked into her father's art supply shop, scruffy, unkempt, red-haired, visibly difficult. He was there to buy canvas and paint. Young Jeanne served him, studied him, and later recalled the encounter with remarkable clarity. That man was Vincent Van Gogh, one of the most celebrated artists in human history, and Jeanne Calment, 13 years old, future world record holder, described him simply as dirty, badly dressed and disagreeable. So while the rest of the world would spend the next century paying millions for his paintings, Jeanne had already reviewed him personally. 1 star, absolutely would not recommend moving on. She married Fernand Calment in 1896, a wealthy merchant. Life was comfortable, cultured, and full. She attended the opera. She fenced, well into her 80s. She cycled. She painted. She laughed constantly and loudly at everything, while the 20th century unfolded around her like a slow-motion catastrophe. Jeanne Calment lived through it all with an almost supernatural composure. And now think about what that actually means. Think about what she witnessed from 1875 to 1997. She saw the invention of the car, the airplane, the radio, the television, the computer, and the mobile phone. She lived through the First World War, the Second World War, the Cold War, the moon landing, the assassination of JFK, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the birth of the World Wide Web. She watched entire political systems rise and collapse. She watched empires dissolve. She watched humanity reinvent itself over and over again, and she simply kept going, kept cycling, kept laughing, like time itself had forgotten to collect her. But here's where the story takes a turn that no financial advisor, no life insurance company, and certainly no 47-year-old French lawyer could have predicted. In 1965, Jeanne Calment was 90 years old and living alone in her apartment in Arles. Local lawyer named André François Raffray approached her with a proposition, a en viage deal, which is a French arrangement where a buyer pays a monthly sum to an elderly homeowner in exchange for inheriting the property upon their death. Raffray was confident. Jeanne was 90, the math seemed obvious. He would pay her 2,500 francs a month, and eventually the apartment would be his. What followed was perhaps the most expensive miscalculation in real estate history. Jeanne kept living, and living, and living. Raffray paid her for 30 years. He watched her turn 100, then 105, then 110. He died in 1995, at the age of 77, having never once set foot in that apartment as its owner. His family was legally obligated to continue the payments. By the time Jeanne finally passed, the total amount paid was more than 3 times the market value of the apartment. She didn't just outlive him, she outlived the entire deal. And reportedly, when asked about it, she responded with a smile and said, "In life, one sometimes makes bad deals." By the time Jeanne reached her final decades, she had become a global phenomenon. Scientists flew in from around the world to study her. Gerontologists analyzed her genetics, her diet, her psychology. She had smoked cigarettes from the age of 21 to 117, stopping only because her failing eyesight made it too difficult to light them herself. She ate nearly a kilogram of chocolate every week. She drank port wine. She slept well. And she laughed relentlessly, fearlessly at everything, including herself. When journalists asked for her secret, she never gave them a complicated answer. No miracle supplement, no ancient remedy. Just this: I see badly, I hear badly, I feel bad, but everything's fine. And then she'd laugh. On August 4th, 1997, Jeanne Calment passed away peacefully. In her nursing home in Arles, she was 122 years and 164 days old. A record that still stands today and unbroken, unchallenged, and according to most scientists, unlikely to be surpassed in our lifetime.